Okay, let's take a look at how you do this. So instead of doing File New, open your text animator. So I'm going to open my text animator, and then I'm going to go File, Import, and Import File. Now the import file you're going to import is you're going to import the video. And that, I took my video, I uploaded it to Google Drive, then I downloaded it, I put it in my Disintegration folder, and then I download it from there. The good news is that now in 2023, After Effects and Adobe Premiere work with high efficiency, so you don't have to turn your phones onto most compatible anymore, even though I may have already told you to do that, but you don't have to anymore, which is nice. So I've downloaded the video. I'm going to move into this one so that you can see. I've got 3 different videos. I've got a video where I'm snapping my fingers and then walking away. And if I turn this one off, I've got a video where there's nothing. And then I've got a video piece where I'm walking in. That's going to come all in as one piece. And wherever you want to do, you just hit the timeline where you want to split it, and you go Control-Shift-D. I've already done that here. I'm going to rename these. Right-click Rename. And I'm going to call this Walk-In. Then this one, I'm going to rename, and I'm going to call it Snap, because that's where I snap my fingers. And then I'm going to rename this one, and I'm going to call it Clear BG. So my clear background that has, if I turn off everything, you can see right here, it's just it. Now I'm kind of zoomed in, so I'm going to go to 33%, and then you can see if I pull this down, I can see pretty much everything at 33%. That'll depend on your video, whether you went landscape or portrait. So I'm also going to duplicate this background and go Control-D, and that's so later on I can put my text animator on top. So don't worry about that part right now. So you can add this to Clear BG2 if you want, or whatever, however. I've got my walk-in here that lasts about 2 seconds. Yours may be a different time. And there's no wasted space. As soon as I start, you can see my foot come into the frame. I walk in. Then I got to the point where I snap. But my snap, I want it to freeze frame. I actually don't want, I want to turn this video into sort of a picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click right there. And I go to Time and Freeze Frame. Okay? And then you can see that I don't move anymore after the snap. Then I'm going to stay on the snap layer. So make sure I'm on the snap layer, and I'm going to go grab a pen. And we're going to draw around me. And you may have to do some zooming in and zooming out, and you might have to move with the hand tool a little bit. But one of the things I want you to understand is you don't have to be very exact, because if I turn these 2 off, you'll see that it's going to be black in the background when I'm done. So, and I'm just going to turn these pixels, I'm going to turn me into a bunch of pixels. So it doesn't have to be super, super exact. So I'm just going to start here. I'm probably going to zoom in a little bit though. So I'm going to hit Control+, and then I'm going to grab my hand tool, and I'm going to start right at the bottom. Okay, and I'm going to start with my pen. And you see, I don't have to be super careful. I can do mostly just clicks. I'm going to do a few clicks and drags. And if it did a shape layer, that's a problem. So that can happen. So be very aware of that. And I'm going to go Control-Z, Z, 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 Z. So if it fills in with color, you know you're on a shape layer. And when I selected it, I clearly was not on the snap layer. And you can see now, this time I was on the snap layer, and the mask showed up. So I'm doing better this time. And I'll just switch to my hand tool, and I'll move up right to the edge, and I go back to my pen. Switch to my hand tool again. Back to my pen. Switch over to my hand tool. So I just chose on the bottom left, I chose fit. I probably could move up to 33%. And you can see that it has masked everything out. And that is exactly what I want. So now what I'd like to do is I'd like to turn on my first clear background one. And so you can see that there's an actual background. Now from here, I'm going to go into my effects and presets, and I'm going to look for CC Scatterize. And then I'm going to take CC Scatterize and I'm going to drag it onto the snap layer. Then I'm going to open up my effects panel and then my CC Scatterize, and I'm going to give a keyframe right at the start of that layer to make sure you can see a little bit more. And then I'm going to do a scatter of 0, and then I'm going to go to the end or so. Maybe not all the way to the end, so somewhere, yeah, around 6 seconds. It'll depend, you can change these things, and I'm going to push this up to like close to about 500. So that scatters all the particles that were part of that image that was just me. Then I'm going to go back and I'm going to go part way into it. And this is where you can play with these numbers to make it look good. Okay, we can actually watch this video as is. Did you start? 3, 4, 5. That works pretty darn good. So I probably should turn the visibility so you can see the walk in again. So I walk in, snap. Did you start? And you do that. Then I'm going to move partway in and I'm going to add a little right twist keyframe of 0. And then I'm going to probably move a little ways down, and then I'm going to go 1. And then I saw this on a video to say 2.2, so that it's not exactly one twist, 2.2, but you can play with these numbers for sure. And then I'm going to press the space bar and see how that looks. Did you start? 3, 4. So there's that. That looked pretty good. Then I could play with even a little left twist. And then we'll see, I got the 0 left twist. And then, I don't know, maybe this one, maybe I'll just go like 90 degrees or something and see what that does. And press my space bar. Did you start? 3, 4. I don't know, maybe a little more left twist. I'll try a 1 and 90. Did you start? 3, 4. That looks pretty good. I'm going to F9 these, or right click, keyframe assistant, and easy ease, and see how that looks. Did you start? 3, 4, 5. Looks great. Then I'm going to go to somewhere around 4.5 seconds. So I've got, and this will depend on how long your piece is. And I'm just going to close up my effects. And you'll notice for some reason there's no transform. After we add effects, the transform often disappears. So don't worry about that. All you got to do is close it up and then close it back. And look, the transform is there. And then we're going to go to opacity. And then I want those particles to disappear. So I don't know, I'll take my time and see what it looks like and drag that right down to 0. And then I'm going to right click, keyframe assistant, easy ease, or F9. And we'll have a look here. Did you start? 3, 4, 5. That felt pretty good. Maybe even a little faster. Zoom out. Did you start? 3, 4, 5. And now I also know that on all these pieces I have audio and audio levels. I'm just going to drag it down to as low as it goes, negative 192. And I'm going to do that for all of the layers. And then I believe I need it done on here. And I extended this one so I had more time for my background when I put my text animator on top. So I'm going to get rid of this one too. And mine overall is 11 seconds. Remember, if you need to change this, you just go to your project, Disintegration 3, Composition Settings. And right now I've got 11.24 seconds. So maybe I'll just push that to 12. 11 and 24 frames. So I'll push that to 12. And we're going to say OK. And then I'm going to add a sound. Now, you can look all over the internet, find yourself a sound. I can show you a little more about how to do that, but I've got a little, this is called Comfy. So that's the sound. I'm going to drop that in, and I'm going to bring it right to the start. And I forgot to turn that on. Now, the last thing I want to do is I'm going to just save this for a second. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go find for digital media arts, I went on this composition. And this was my composition for digital media arts. I did some fun things too. I liquefied some stuff. So I'm going to go into Disintegration 3, and I'm going to drag Comp 1, and I'm going to put that on top. And I'm going to line that up so that it starts a little bit after, probably somewhere around there. That's kind of why I wanted the extra time in there. So we'll see how that lines up. And then at the very end, I'm going to go to my music layer, and I'm going to go audio, and I'm going to put a keyframe in at 0 dB, and then I'll fade it out. And then I probably could make that take a little longer to do. And that is how you do disintegration effect. Thanks for watching.